But first, the tourism brochures talk about incredible India, and in many respects, they're spot on. India is indeed incredible. The sounds, the sights, the colours come at you at 100 miles an hour. It has abject poverty and extraordinary wealth, but it has a middle class of 400 million people, and it's a democracy, and that should be an important factor in any ongoing discussions around trade with India. Now, Prime Minister Scott Morrison and Indian PM Modi have forged closer ties in recent days, emphasising the value of the trade links. Now, Mr Morrison spoke about the need in these troubled times to turn to friends, a not-so-subtle crack at the way China has treated us after we led the charge for an inquiry into the Wuhan coronavirus outbreak. India is a country full of promise in so many respects. It's a developing nation with the challenges that come with being a country that needs vital infrastructure and needs improvements in the way it provides power and water. That's why the Adani project was such a win-win for both countries in central Queensland. Yet, as we know, the Palaszczuk government in Queensland was desperate to get Adani torpedoed. Only a Morrison government win last year revitalised Adani, which, by the way, quietly announced a new project extension yesterday with 600 jobs up for grabs. That's 600 people with work who would not have had it post-COVID. And while it's important we engage with India and build better trade ties, the big potential sector for us here is tourism. Indians love Australia. They just love us. They love our weather, they love our warmth and our shared love of cricket. And they're an emerging sector for tourism. Go to a theme park on the Gold Coast any time of the year, when they're open, of course, and it will be the Indians leading the international contingent. And unlike the Chinese, they travel as families and not in tour groups, which means they spend more money. Of course, the Chinese, they're heavily controlled, only being allowed to spend money in certain shops. And of course, those shops, they get kickbacks from tour operators, the Chinese way, that is. Take note, Dan Andrews. As Australia looks to build a post-COVID economy, we must break free of the shackles of our ties with China and embrace new opportunities like India and Indonesia. Why not set up film and TV incentives to bring Bollywood productions here to Australia? Wine consumption is huge in India. They also love their scotch. Surely our wine producers can forge new markets in coming years. Now, the difference between China and India for Australia is clear. It's dictatorship versus democracy. It's a Commonwealth nation versus a totalitarian regime. Even our strong cricketing ties forge a closer, more friendly relationship with India. After all, the only bat we need to be worried about out of India is one carried by Virat Kohli.